Okay. Um, I'm not too sure what to read on, so but I'm just gonna wait. Um, but I felt like to come and do a live, a reading, so I'm gonna wait. Um, Again, I did want to say because I feel like people don't listen to me. In terms of my readings, as I've said before, um, there's a reason why I uploaded that video, that 2021 video on Kate Middleton. When I do readings sometimes, regardless of what is happening around me, around us, uh I would sometimes feel led to do a reading on something or a particular topic that does not seem relevant to what is happening at the time, right? So it's the reason why that 2021 reading that I uploaded, again, it's on my Instagram page. I only uploaded it on YouTube, so the date is recent on YouTube because, well, I just felt like most people are on YouTube, most of my viewers on YouTube rather than Instagram, my Instagram page. But if you go on the Instagram page, I did put the link. It is you'd see the video. It's from 2021, right? And so there's a reason why I've learned to not only trust my instincts but also be alert to whatever the spiritual is giving me, even if I may not, whether I understand it at the time that it's happening or not, or when I'm reading it, right? So I remember when I was speaking about William and Catherine's personalities changing due to, Meghan Markle um like being accepted by the public, and then the rest of the royals, especially the female royals, the wives who had married in, they're feeling very aggrieved, right? Because they had gone through a lot. And so they felt as if, Meghan and Harry were being given room for mistakes, more room for mistakes than they had been given. Anyway, when I was doing that reading, just like with the reading on Autumn Phillips, a few people have asked for that reading. I don't know if I put it on private, but if I have, I'll reopen it and I will put the link. Yeah, if I can remember to do it, because yeah. um but the Autumn Phillips reading, some back then, this was in around 2018, 2018. Somebody had asked me to do a reading on Autumn Phillips, just as a normal member of the royal family. But whenever I was opening her cards up, Megan kept coming up in the cards, and it got annoying even to me, to the point where I could barely even go through all the questions. I just had to stop that reading because Meghan Markle kept coming up consistently in that reading on Autumn Phillips, and I wasn't even trying to look on Autumn Phillips. So it's to say that the spiritual realm will drag me, I'm talking about myself since I'm the one doing the readings. The spiritual realm will drag me into reading something that I may not particularly understand at that time, or even during that time I will try to understand, right? So there's a reason why back in 2021, even since like 2019, I was getting inclinations of just the Cambridge's personalities changing. And eventually I got convinced by around 2020, 2021, back when even many people didn't see the changes. So it's not to toot my own horn, but it's to say that there's a reason why I would pick these things up early. And I think I've come to see, like, because obviously readers are very different. And for me, I always like to be sure, even for myself and to myself, like, I am my primary audience, right? Um, and then after that, other people, because I always like to be convinced about what I'm saying. I don't like to make mistakes like that. Like, I'm a perfectionist in my own head. So whenever I do a reading and something doesn't make sense, I want it to make sense. So based on that, I guess like the spiritual realm, maybe ancestors or like God, spiritual guides, they like to make sure that the reader, the tarot reader, knows what they're talking about, or at least like they understand, right, what they're talking about. And so I guess maybe that's why I get sort of like updates early, so that my mind is assured of what I have seen as time goes on, even before the event has happened. Because otherwise, the way I am, I can be very easily dissuaded from what I have seen until it happens. And then I'm like, wait, I saw that, but I guess like I've become better at it. But before I used to get a lot of I guess like convincing like energies from people who didn't see the same things that I saw. Having said that, right, I started seeing Catherine again. That video is on my Instagram. You can go and verify the date of that reading. And it wasn't just that reading, it was plenty of other readings. I can't find them now. Maybe YouTube or Instagram took them down. But I was talking about the Cambridges way before now, way before the Queen had even passed on. So that's to say that whatever is happening with the Cambridges today, don't ask me to look into it with the intention of then telling me that Catherine has passed away, or may have passed away, because then you're trying to. And I was wondering before, like, I don't know if it's intentional, but I guess I'm starting to believe that it is intentional, because like, really, the cards are insisting that these people who know things, and they keep coming to me asking me the same type of questions in a different way, that I have to like, but the intentions are in order to make me feel stupid. Because like when you ask a person a question several times over, it's like, or you pretend you don't understand, it's as if you're trying to make the person feel stupid, so that the more you ask and you pretend you don't understand, the less that person is going to feel certain and sure about what they picked up, right? Because it's like they start thinking to themselves, wait, if this person isn't understanding, then, or if these people are not really understanding what I'm saying, then does that mean I'm the one who is wrong? Basically, that's the intentions, because there's no reason why I would show you a reading that I have done and I'm not even the type to repeat like, I don't like repeating myself, but I've uploaded this reading and I've done it. I've talked about it several times over, right? And then you still come to me and you're telling me that Kate is dead. Like, I don't see her dead. And you can't force that reading on me. Maybe it's what you're picking up. I mean, again, you wouldn't be wrong if you're picking up that she's dead, and then you want me to expatiate on, does it mean maybe if you're picking this up that she's still alive, does it mean maybe it's the marriage that is dead, right? Or it's the real Kate, her real personality that is dead? In which case I would agree with you, because, like I said in a previous reading, the Kate that we used to know is no longer the same Catherine. It's a different one, right? So I would agree with you that, yeah, that Kate is dead. But to tell me that she's physically dead, she's gone on, like, it's as if you're trying to impose the reading, and you're trying to convince me, as we are today, because this is now happening, something that I picked up in 2021, you're now trying to convince me that no, 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 what you picked up back in 2021, we're in 2024 now, 2024, right? If I managed to pick this up in 2021, before the Queen even passed away, before people were even picking up that, oh yeah, this is happening, or this might happen with Catherine and William, like when everything was still perfect and it was just Harry and Meghan who were the scapegoats, right? Who had just left, they had left, and they were making all this noise on social media, or in the papers. If I was picking up all these things about Kate way before the dust settled on Harry and Meghan, to now be pointing at Kate today, then what makes you think that I'm going to believe your narrative over what I was picking up back then? It's like, it's as if you're trying to tell me, yeah, you may have seen this coming, but the reason you saw this coming is not true. Meanwhile, you're only just talking about it today whilst it's happening. It doesn't make sense. So if I've told you that, and I'm not imposing my reading on anyone, if I've told you that the reason I picked this up, it's a 2021 reading. Thank God for social media and dates. You can go and check the dates. It was in 2021. And I guess like back then when I was reading on that, I did not understand why the cards kept dragging me into that direction of the Cambridges. But then I got to see, and now that it started to happen, I'm realizing why my spirit guides were actually guiding me to that, because there's so much noise in my energy, in my space, that I spend time, instead of doing readings like I would like to do for you guys, I spend time having to clear away all the noise from other people coming in the spirit room trying to tell me that no, no, she's not, like, she's not dead like this. She died a long time ago. Do a reading on this. Like, no, I'm not going to do a reading on that if my spirit guides already showed me back in 2021 that this is the reason. And I guess like people like sensationalism rather than the boring but cold and harsh truth. Because why would you try to convince me? Why would you tell me that she's dead when I'm telling you that no, she is not dead, but she's doing this on purpose? You so badly, and this is where I'm starting to be convinced, because it takes me a while to be convinced, even of my own readings, except I start picking up that the energy is growing stronger, or I see it in real time in the physical realm, right? But like, I mean, you so badly, I guess, I'm starting to realize, want to see Kate as a victim, that you're willing to impose on my 2021 reading that what you saw back then is not real. She's not doing this on purpose. The royal family has killed her. Like, you can't convince me anymore. If the spiritual realm, if my spirit guides had not drawn me to do that reading back in 2021, I guess you could confuse me until I would see then what I'm seeing in the cards today. But actually, you can't convince me because I picked that up way back then. And I did not understand why the cards were showing me something so simple as, oh yeah, she's thinking of leaving, but she still loves Will. She's not gonna leave. She's just gonna pretend that she's leaving. She's gonna cut herself out of public life, out of social life. She's gonna start keeping her children out of social life even more in order to spite the public. And I can't accept like your forced narrative simply because there's something that is coming. If I were to accept what you're saying to me today, even though it seems like the most logical and the most convincing, because, oh yeah, everyone truly believes that William has hurt her or whatever, then I would be saying to myself that the staff issue is not coming up. See? So whenever I am harsh with people who like try to disagree with me, but not in a way that shows that they've done a reading on it. It's more like, no, 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 this is what it is. Then it makes me irate because it's as if like you're trying to force me to blaspheme on my spiritual guides because they've shown me this in advance and they've said, Catherine is not dead. She has purposefully, go back and watch that reading. She's purposefully kept herself out of the public eye. It is on purpose. No, she's not sick. I haven't seen any cancer on her. But again, speaking of spiritual readings, if you were to tell me that, you know what, she does, I think she has cancer because blah, blah, like, because to be honest, it is cancerous to try to use the cancer card on people. In other words, like, let's even say she has cancer. It is cancerous, a cancerous mindset. It is a sick mindset to allow the media to use your sickness, your illness, your cancer to attack other people as a gotcha moment. Because, the picture that was killed, the Photoshop picture, the public wasn't wrong, right? She had to apologize. So it's like if you had to apologize for a picture that people speculated on, which means people were actually right, why are you now trying to use your illness, your sickness, as if people have been wrong about everything? It's cancerous. Cancer does not just have to be the physical illness. It's also a type of mindset. It's a sick mindset, a mindset that kills, right? Slowly, gradually. It kills people's intuition. It kills people's pride. It kills people's, I don't know, their sanity. Because if you're picking up on something and someone is trying to gaslight you, that is cancer. It's cancerous. It's cancerous behavior. It's a cancerous mindset. So if you were to come to me and tell me that, oh yeah, I think Kate has cancer because, since you've been talking about the spiritual realm, this is what I'm picking up. I am picking up a sickness, right? Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. The sickness is her mind because she and Kensington Palace, they can speak to the media and tell them to stop whatever they're doing. Maybe the media will listen, but at least some portions of the media will definitely listen. We've seen that already. When there was the speculation prior to the cancer announcement, a lot of the media kept coming out and saying we should give Kate a break, we should stop speculating, right? So if and there were a lot of sources coming out of Kensington Palace telling the public, William and Kate, they're very distressed about the speculation, blah, blah, blah. So they can't talk. So if they really did not want, she really did not want the media to stop using her cancer as a gotcha moment, as I don't even the game, but like as a gotcha moment for people, like to tell people to shut up, she would tell them. And so it's pretty sick to have the media and your fans keep using a sickness that has killed other people, people's family members, and they've carried on, and you're using it as a stick to hit other people and get people to shut up. Like, yeah, it is a sickness. So if you were to approach me and tell me that, I would understand you. I would definitely agree that, yeah, this is the reason why your cards are showing that she's sick, because she's definitely gone further into a sick mindset of manipulation, unlike the Kate that we used to know before. So it's no longer the same Kate. I would totally understand that, rather than you trying to force, like, because people keep asking me to read into Kate's death. Like, she's not dead. She knows what she's doing, or at least she knew. She still knows what she's doing, but she just thinks that the public is going to buy into it. So if I were to buy into the narrative that people keep trying to sell to me, that, oh yeah, Kate is dead, then I'm not, what I'm truly saying to my spirit guides is that I'm discarding the 2021 reading that I did back then. And oh, here is the reason, because people are telling me so. Like, that doesn't make sense. So that's just for people who keep trying to ask me to do a reading on Kate's death. No, she's not dead. I don't see her dead. It's very, very much on purpose. Yeah. Yeah. It's very much on purpose. She knows what she's doing. She knew what she was doing, but it's a runaway train. It's like when you start something and you think you're going to maintain control over it, and it ends up spreading like wildfire, you can there's a difference between a little fire, you start a little fire, versus a wildfire. She started the little fire, by keeping herself out of the public eye. This was in order. It is in, because it's still the present tense. She hasn't changed her mindset. It's in order. Again, people who ask me, why is she doing this? Kate has decided, she decided that a long time ago, I guess as far back as before the Queen passed away, when she saw how, I guess, like, pissed off and angry the Queen was at having to send Meghan and Harry out of Frogmore and out of England, basically, because of the public outcry. She and William, like, especially Kate, I beg your pardon, Kate is very, very she has a lot of intuition. So she picked up that it wasn't a good idea for the staff issue to come up in any kind of measure against the royal family after the Queen has passed away, because she and William had already decided that Charles is not even worth spending time on, right? And this is why the media, following the lead of the Cambridges behind the scenes and spiritually, they have really discarded Charles's reign. It's as if he's not even there. He's a filler. He's a filler for them, the Cambridges. They saw, or she saw, that, okay, since William is going to be the next king following the Queen, this staff issue that is coming up, it must not get on William's reign, because bear in mind, the Kate that is now today, she wants perfection. She likes perfection because, well, that is how her husband is. He likes perfection. He wants, when I'm talking perfection, I mean in the sense, like, if you had to put a number, it is 100%. So meaning he wants 100% power, right? So if she knows her husband that much, that well, she can already foresee the troubles ahead. The main trouble meaning being, one of them is definitely King and Prince Andrew, which is again why you've seen William sort of drive Andrew, and stuff like that. It's basically like trying to tie up loose ends. She doesn't want any jagged edge on her husband's reign. So that's Andrew gone. There are other, but the main issue is the staff issue, right? The bullying, the fact that it wasn't just Harry and Meghan, but also Kensington Palace that allowed the bullying to continue. And from what I've seen, actually, there's been a suicide from the. So when I talk about the staff issue a lot, again, as I'm speaking about it today, and the issue hasn't yet gotten inside of the media storm, it seems irrelevant, but it's not going to be so irrelevant in the future, because I've seen a suicide coming out of this, the staff bullying issue. But William covered it up, obviously, along with Kate, right? Kate has foreseen these problems, these issues, so she knows that it's going to be a problem in the future for William, coupled with the fact that she knows how William is. He's not going to take insubordination lightly. He doesn't take rebellion lightly. So she knows that it is trains colliding. It is her husband not wanting to take any insubordination. And it is also the staff who have been so aggrieved, so aggrieved. I mean, in fact, whenever I start doing readings on the staff, I feel like crying. Whenever I do readings, like sometimes there's so much emotion that it weighs down on my spirit. And it's like the emotions of the other person start coming out of me. And then it's like, I want to cry. I start crying because they've done so much to their staff that it's not even, it's unspeakable. She sees that the staff have been so aggrieved, plus the fact that in their minds, Kate and William, the queen sort of lowered. She lowered the, I guess, the importance, the value of royalty. So, meaning that because the importance and the value of royalty, because of the Andrew issue, for example, has been lowered, the staff is not going to be bound by a sense of integrity towards this big institution. Because if you lose respect for an institution because the institution has gone down in value, then you're less likely to be bound by the code of conduct, and you're more likely to talk about how they have offended you, if that makes sense. So she foresaw this, she has foreseen this, and in order to take the attention off of William as a bad king, she has placed herself into the picture. She has made herself the scapegoat. I don't know if that makes sense. It seems really simple, and it seems a bit, I guess, like some people don't want to see her as this manipulator, or, for lack of a better word, someone who still loves her husband enough to have this, I guess, like 20th century mindset that he has done wrong, but instead of him to take responsibility, or both of us, I'm going to put myself as the scapegoat. It's hard for people, but you know what? Maybe I'm giving people too much credit, because how can it be that hard when I'm telling you you're not forced to, you're not obliged to believe my readings. But if you're going to believe one part of my readings, then why are you trying to force on me your part of the reading that says Kate is dead? She's not dead. She foresaw all these problems. She's foreseen them. And so way back then, she already made the decision to take herself out of the public eye. Obviously, she knows what that would entail. By taking herself out of the public eye, she expected, or she expects still, for people to see William as the one who soldiers and carries on, right? As the one who is a go-getter, as the one who, despite his wife being out of the public eye, that his wife being the lazy one, right? Because remember, she didn't give a reason for being out of the public eye. Like, at least, like, they used her operation, but remember, they didn't give the full details, not like Charles. So it was on purpose. They or she intentionally did not brief the staff to give out details on her being out of the public eye, or for how long, because that was on purpose. It was in order to, for people to see William instead as the patient one, as the tolerant one, as the one who says, I'm going to carry on, even though my wife, oh yeah, supposedly she's had this operation, but she's taking too long. Because look, other people are, even the queen, whenever the queen would have an operation, she would get back on it and she would carry on. That is Kate's mindset. I can't even say that was Kate's mindset, because she still is, like when I look in the cards, that is her mindset even today, even till now, despite whatever is happening in the public. The cancer announcement was never supposed to happen. She doesn't have cancer, at least from what I'm seeing. The only reason it's happened is because she did not, she underestimated. Because remember, she took this decision way back then, years back before the queen passed away. But she did not foresee, and she has not foreseen, the impact of the public speculation, the wildfire, in other words, the fire that she has created, just going out of control. She has not foreseen the fact that by staying out of the public eye, William starts looking like the bad guy, right? So even the cancer announcement, like, the reason why I didn't take that at face value, even before I even, like, 'cause I could sense in my spirit, like, she's still trying to cover William. Because again, it's like, people might ask why. If you see William as the go-getter, then you're going to see Kate as weak. And somewhere down the line, she's going to do something, maybe use a miscarriage or something of that nature to further prove to the public that she's weak. So that as this information drops in people's minds, people are going to think to themselves, oh, but William, all this time he was carrying on, she had a miscarriage and then she chose this, like she stayed out of the public eye. She chose to stay out of the public eye. Meanwhile, he carried on, he soldiered on, right? She did not anticipate that the public is never gonna see it that way. That the public is gonna see William as the one who is not at her side. Yeah. So everything that we're talking about today, it's not what she anticipated. But it doesn't mean that that is not what she that is not what she wanted. Yeah. She wanted people to talk about William. In fact, the media is closer to her mindset than the public. Why? Because when you look at the media headlines about the way William is handling everything, it's with glowing and remarks. It's with compliments. It's complimentary. The media is talking about how he's going to be a good king. He's soldiering on. That is Kate's mindset. That is exactly her intentions. But the public, who Kate did not foresee, and guess why she didn't foresee them? Because she sees the public like the staff. They are beneath her. They are not good enough for her to see them as something that is worth considering and therefore consequential. So a bit like again, Harry Potter. I'm gonna make Harry Potter reference, like Voldemort, right? In Harry Potter, Voldemort underestimated the impact of love, a mother's love. Uh he underestimates the power of elves, house elves, right? So kind of like that. Like Kate she's so far in the royal bubble agenda that she has not foreseen the impact of the public. So whilst the media is carrying on her agenda of, oh, William is going to be a good king, blah blah blah, the public that actually has the loudest voice, Kate just didn't see it. The public is the one torpedoing her plans. The public is the one saying, but William he was supposed to be next to her during the cancer announcement, blah, blah, blah. So it's basically like clashing realities, right? And in time, you're going to see why that is the case when the media takes up for the staff and starts talking about the staff, because the media is not loyal. The media, they're only loyal to themselves. So, having said that they align to her, Catherine's intentions, they also are most loyal to themselves. So they will pick up the staff issue. But in time, Catherine is going to want support from the public. And this is why she was doing this whole thing all along, because she wanted the public to get it into their minds that William is not the culprit, that Harry and Meghan and even herself, Catherine, they are the culprits for not dealing with the staff issue. She wanted to keep William clean out of this, but it's not going to happen, because the staff issue is going to come up. And so if you're trying to force to me that Catherine is dead, then you're not going to understand the next side of the picture, which says the staff was being bullied, and it could not just have been William who was allowing these things to continue. Why? Because the staff is not going to exclude Kate. They're not going to exclude Kate being sick, because guess what? Kate wasn't sick when the bullying was happening. So it's like, even with the cancer issue right now, Kate has grossly underestimated how much the public can think. Yes, so it's like whatever she wanted for William is not going to happen. And so, I'll beg you guys to stop. Not all of you here, but people who keep sending me requests to read into Kate's death, don't do that, because I'm just going to curse you, because I'm really realizing that you just want to see her as a victim. And in time, even though I'm suspecting it, but it takes a while for me to register things, for my mind to really be fully convinced about things. In time, I'm going to see that what you're trying to do is actually to get her off the hook and help her to keep seeing William and her as the victims, and to restart the cycle until the public gets it. I hope that makes sense, because if I, as a reader, and with my, I guess, spiritual impact, I stop seeing Kate as being in the driving seat, then that means she's allowed to do whatever she wants to do. Because, when you put someone in a victim position, in a victimhood position, that, oh, she's dead. Imagine if you consider someone as dead, that means you're no longer watching what the person's spirit is doing, right? You're letting them go. you're no longer keeping them in your sight. And that is what her fans, I guess, disguised as other people's fans, are trying to make me do, trying to make me see her as dead so that I would not keep looking into her, so that whatever she's then doing with regards to the staff issue, I can no longer see it, right? I'll be blinded to it. But that's not going to happen because, again, my spirit guides, if they could draw me to do that reading in 2021, they're certainly going to draw me to, even if I want to believe you, I'm going to be drawn to do that reading on her. Because a lot of times I can't help do a reading, right? I will just come online, open my cards. Like, I didn't even expect to talk this much about this issue, but it's really just like, I guess there's a lot to say about the fact that people keep trying to convince me to go off track, and it's never going to happen. And I've said this before to Cambridge fans. There's nothing you can do that I will not see or that other people will not see. Even if I don't see it at the time, it doesn't mean you've succeeded, because guess what? I understand also, I've been working on spiritual realm timing. I know that what, even if you do something to me to not see something today, to be blinded, I can go back and erase whatever you've done against me. So there's no point even trying. Stop trying to sidetrack me. Catherine, Kate, she knows what she's doing. She's not dead. Yeah, maybe her conscience is dead. And if a conscience is what makes a human being, definitely she's dead as a human in that regard, in that logic. But anything else, she's not physically dead. Hi, Sophie. Hi, guys. Hi, Light Ray. I appreciate you too. Okay, Sophie said, I've been feeling icky about Kate since, yeah, it was since Megxit, actually, Sophie. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Sophie. Hi, Moy. Hello, Gillian. Yeah, Sophie said, it almost seems like William just charges ahead like a bull. Yeah, yeah, he does charge like a bull. Yeah, yeah. Yes, Kate is definitely it's kind of like I don't know how to put it. I keep forgetting words. Like, it's first Kate and then the fans. William is not really the brainchild, or although like he's the bronze, he's the powerhouse. But in terms of like, it's the fans feeding to Kate, and then Kate protects William. Yeah. Um. Okay. I'm trying to see what the cards are bringing up. If anyone has any questions before I go, or you want me to do a reading on something that I haven't talked about. I'm just gonna wait. Okay. Okay, so no questions. Okay, Sophie said, by the way, if anyone wants to, I guess, like, read into the spiritual, don't be afraid. There's really nothing to be afraid of. Yeah, you can do it. And I'm only saying it because the spiritual room has opened so much that people are able, like, um, they are able to read into it. Yeah, without fear of repercussions. Okay, yeah. Sophie said Cambridge fans can sometimes see Williams. Yeah, I mean, not sometimes, Sophie. They can see it all the time. All the time. I actually had a dream about, I might be going off track here. I actually had a dream about Catherine, last night. I actually did. I actually had a dream about Catherine, and it's the first time I've had a dream on any member of the royal, uh, in such, I guess, like, vivid detail and emotions, because I just kept saying to her, it was as if like she had uh sacrificed someone, and then, like in those movies, like witchcraft movies, where like there's blood dripping from the top. So she was in a kind of like red blue dress, and then there was a body, but I couldn't see the body. But I knew that there was a body, and it was kind of like on top on the left hand side. But I felt like the open belly of the person, and it was dripping on the floor. And it wasn't touching me, but it could have touched me. Like I was standing so close to the drip, and she was there standing on my right, like talking to me as if everything was normal. And then once I sensed that the blood was dripping, and that if it had touched my hand, it would have been like acid, like burning into my, like when corrosive, right? When something corrosive touches your skin and like burns inside. When I sensed that that was happening, or it was about to happen, I stopped walking, because I was walking backwards towards the place, that spot. When I sensed that was happening, and that what her conversation was doing was to lull me, because as I was walking back, she was also kind of like stopping, but then also walking with me towards me, so that I kept just walking back, talking to her like normal. When I realized that, I just started crying. Like I burst into tears, and I just started crying. Like in the dream, I just kept saying, I even went on my knees. I was like, Kate, I'm so disappointed in you. Like I wasn't saying I believed in you, but I guess like it was along those lines. When I was telling her like I'm so disappointed, it was, the meaning behind it was more like I believed in you kind of thing. And like I was crying so much, I was bawling so much in that dream. And then it got kind of swept away, and then obviously I had like another dream that I can't remember, but that was like one of the most emotive dreams I've had about a member of the royal family recently. Yeah. But it's just to say, I guess, because like recently, when I do readings, I always like to be sure, and I always like to make sure that it's not me that is seeing it, or that why am I picking this up, and why am I feeling this kind of way? Because I felt very disappointed. I mean, not just with Kate, but also with the royal family fans. Like, I can't believe I was once a fan. I felt very disappointed because, and people might say, why were you a fan of the royal family? I wasn't. I was a fan of what they could represent, and what they purported to want to represent, which is, I mean, like, if they represent something like, I don't know, Catholicism, right? I'm not a Catholic, but like good behavior, then I'm going to be a fan of that, insofar as I can sense, or I can see that, okay, this good behavior, this upstanding behavior, it's going somewhere, and they are working towards making the world better. Not in a dreamy kind of way, but I guess in a way that is realistic, because yeah, they have all that power. But in time, they are going to make things better. And I wasn't being naive. So I guess that dream and other things that have happened is just my spirit guides, I guess, or the spiritual realm, reminding me that you're you're not wrong for feeling this way. You're not wrong for having these emotions, because you are not wrong. It, it's a good thing to have hope in what people present about themselves. But I guess, like, make sure that you no longer let yourself be moved, right, by people's words, and people's, like, just people's words, I guess. But like, I had just been having doubts, like, why was I feeling this way? But the emotions uh were real. The emotions are real, because yeah, I felt very disappointed. I saw her going into the royal family, and again, people might say, but they've been child trafficking, they've been doing all of this. But you don't understand that I have come to see Jodelle, me, I have come to see the world as not perfect. So whenever I even support something, or even like Meghan, if I talk good about Meghan Markle today, it is not because I see her as good. It is because she's not worse than the others. So I've never been the type to be idealistic, but I would certainly not live in a world whereby it is the more evil people, which in this case has turned out to be, because they're worse than the Sussex fans, the Cambridge fans, who have turned out worse. It's not them or people like that, of that nature, who are going to convince me who the bad guy is. It's like, no, if you're telling me who someone is, I'd rather see for myself. And if I so happen to see that that person you're pointing the finger to is not worse than you, and might actually be even less worse than you, then I'm going to be angry. And I'm going to support that person until you crumble, until you fall. So that's basically where I'm at. Like, I was never idealistic about the royal family. Never, never. I mean, I saw the politics through it. But at the same time, I had hope because why shouldn't I? You know, if I see worse things in the world, why wouldn't I think that someone who looks, not physically looks, but I mean, like, you know, the ideals looks better, would make a difference that would then counteract that other side of evil. But now I see that they're even worse. They're even worse. Yeah. Okay, Jacqueline asked an excellent question, a very good question. How does her family, you mean Kate? Kate's family, I did a reading on this. Gosh, I don't know if I'll still find it, but let me just say it here. She's Kate's family, she's given up on them, right? Because remember, she's fighting this for William. Yeah. Based in a nutshell. In a nutshell. She's given up on them. So yeah, Sophie, yeah. Yeah, Sophie said, I remember a few years back, you had said that a time will come when people want Harry and Meghan to do against. Yes, 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 Sophie. I mean, oh, let me read the full thing. Okay. I remember a few years back, you had said that a time will come when people will want Harry and Meghan to go against William because his dictatorship will be so vile. But Harry and Meghan shenanigans will be nothing. Absolutely, absolutely. And this is why I'm speaking up, because I know that a time will come whereby what Harry and Meghan have done to the public, to the British public, will pale in comparison to what William is going to do. So I'm putting myself, like, I'm not even afraid of anything. Like, I want to die. Like, it might sound suicidal, but that's, I don't know, like, ever since my mother passed away, my mother died, I don't have a will to live. Like, I'm not that bothered or invested in these things, which is why I would like to stop doing readings on it, because I don't want to care. I don't want to care, but I keep getting drawn into it. And I guess that's because, like I said, my husband, right? Because he's involved in this, and he wants me to be as involved in not being, um I guess, driven out by the power hungry royals. That actually draws me to something else, because like I've just said, what Harry and Meghan have done is going to pale in comparison to the dictatorship, to what William is going to do. I can bet my life and everything I hold dear on that. Even my husband, I can bet that. That reminds me though, a couple of people, I guess, like some Megan fans asked me if you can see that it is now raised, because I said it in a previous reading last week, that now the attacks against Megan have become racist, unlike before, where it was just like taunting her and trying to provoke her in the same way that they would use Harry's red hair to provoke him. That was the intention in the past, to provoke. Now it is no longer mere provocation, and it has become racist. So a few of them did ask me, like, okay, well, if, because I talked to them in the DM, right? Like, and oh, by the way, my WhatsApp is not working, not at the moment. It got hacked. I'm working to bring that back. And also, for a few people who keep coming on my page here on my readings, abusing me and stuff, I know it's the royal family supporters. And when I started doing, because for a long time I stopped doing readings, when I started doing these readings this year again, I knew it was with the full knowledge that I could get hacked, and my page, my YouTube page included, could get brought down. So I'm not doing these readings naively. I know that my page could get brought down, because the Cambridge fans are worse, far, far worse than the Sussex fans. But in any case, talking to them, right, in the DM, and they tell me things like, well, racism is bad. How can you not condemn it? Um, blah, 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 right? But okay. The racism that they were talking, the reason why I don't condemn it is because they made it happen. The Meghan and Harry fans, they made it happen. They materialized it. They were screaming and wailing about racism at a time when it was not racism. Remember, you can't gaslight me. I was there in the beginning when it started. And I remember the turning point because I wanted to support Megan, right? And not for race, just because why would you not? She hasn't proven herself to be a bad person. Just give her a chance. But the moment I sensed an energy shift was when, and I just knew it. It was like a lightning strike. When I went on social media, it was just announced about her and Harry. And instantly, I knew the agenda her fans would carry, that any criticism of her would be racism because there wasn't even much criticism at the time of her. It was more like really light criticisms like, oh, she's American, is she gonna be able to handle blah blah blah, oh, she's divorced. What does divorce have to do with her race? And back then, even when people were talking about you know, uh her divorce, her like when people said that she could pass off as white and they didn't even know or realize that she was black, they were not lying. At least from what I've seen in the cards, what I saw in the cards back then, they were not lying. That's why I would support. That's why I would support them today because I'm not going to dismantle what you created. If you created this racism mantle that the Cambridge fans have now gladly taken on, I'm not going to tell them to take it off. Yeah, I'm going to punish them for doing things that would enable the power hungry William from getting to my partner, right? But aside from that, anything that is not going to touch me or my partner, I'm not going to touch it. And this mantle, yes, my partner is black, I am black, but the racism mantle that the Cambridge fans have taken on is never going to attack me or my partner. What William wants is power. He doesn't care if you're black, blah, blah. Yes, he is racist or he's got racist tendencies, but it's not so much against black people. It's more against the serfs, subservient, like the people who are underneath him. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to decry the racism like that and help you dismantle what you created. You guys are the ones who created it. For any Meghan Markle fans here, you screamed racism. You cried wolf one too many times, and I'm not going to help you dismantle it. You dismantle, like, no, I'm not going to do that. Yes, it's racism today, but it's only because you guys held that hand for them to take. So, no. But in saying that, there are others, like, they would also ask, how do you know it's become racism? Like, when did it become racism to you or to your cards, right? Or to your spirit guides? At the time, they were just taunting Meghan Markle. But now, the only reason why it's now become racism, true racism, is because these Cambridge fans, they noticed that, first of all, it is the racism card that worked. So now they're trying to flip it. They're trying to use race to flip the power in their favor. That's number one. And why it's actually the Meghan Markle fans' fault for that. But the part where it's not their fault is because, yes, they support Meghan Markle, but it just so happens that they are black, right? Especially black women. And I just so happen to be a black woman. And again, I didn't, whenever my spirit guides take their time teaching me stuff because I don't get it at first glance. But it's the reason why I was getting so attacked before when I started picking up on not just Meghan and Harry being seen favorably by the public and the changes that would happen in William and Catherine's marriage because the fans saw that I am a black woman. And to them, it is easier to flip that tide and see black women as the opposite of their plans and their intentions. So, meaning, in other words, if the majority of Meghan and Harry's fans are black women, which they are, then the royal family supporters are going to target who they see as the biggest opposition to their plans, to William taking power, the most power, and getting Harry and, out of the way. It's black women. And these women don't even realize that they are in the way. I mean, they think they are, but they don't realize the extent to which they are. They don't realize the longer game that is being played by the Cambridge supporters, that you're the representative of everything good about Meghan and Harry. Yes, we don't see anything good about Meghan and Harry, but we will admit you're the ones who have kept the support for them going. And we want this support to stop. Why? Because, and I will say this, I don't see William. being aggrieved with Harry. That sounds weird, but I don't. I see him more like, just like throughout his life and how he was taught, he wants Harry to come back in the fold to be seen as the scapegoat. He wants that visibility of Harry as the scapegoat. And, he'll reward Harry once in a while, but he wants Harry as the scapegoat. No one else can take that position, yeah, as the scapegoat. So that is the main reason why William, he doesn't have any ill feelings toward Harry at the moment, from what I'm seeing. No, not anymore. He just wants Harry there so that you're the scapegoat, right? And definitely Catherine as well. So, and if you notice, they don't want Meghan. I haven't mentioned Meghan. It's Harry that they want. But with Meghan in the picture, and Meghan has now chosen to define herself as, remember, I said before, everything has spiritual power, spiritual energy and powers. Meghan has chosen to define this image of being a black woman. Therefore, even spiritually, she'll be seen as black because that's the identity she's chosen to carry. And so will her fans. So her fans being the main opposition. Had it been the main core of her fans had been white men, then the attacks would be against white men. Yeah. So, but that's the main reason for those, Meghan Markle fans who ask me, oh, why do you now see the racism? It's because it's now switched. They now have chosen to go after race, even though they wouldn't mention it, but it's underlining, unlike before, because precisely they know that it is this color of people, this color of people and gender that have been the ones preventing Harry from coming back and being the scapegoat. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Sophie. I appreciate it. Okay, let me read all your questions. Is it likely Harry's children will have much interaction? I don't see that, Moy. Yeah, Moy just asked about Harry's children having interaction with the UK relatives. No, I don't see that. Mm. Anything would be cosmetic. I hope you can see cosmetic and you understand, like surface level. Uh, yeah, and mainly through the media, because these look like media articles, right? So cosmetic, anything like that would be cosmetic. So these two cards, love, right? So love between the cousins. No, it's gonna be cosmetic, surface level. Yeah. So yeah, the interaction would be there more. I can't deny the interaction would be there, but what I'm picking up is more like it's gonna be interaction behind closed doors. Maybe one interaction, and then from based on that interaction, things are gonna be blown out of proportion. Not in a negative, not in a bad way, blown out of proportion. Just more like in the same way you can meet someone and then talk about that event, that singular event for 20 years. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, Gillian asked, when King Charles passes on, will Camilla have a claim? No, no, definitely. She's going to be turfed out. Yeah. And people who are saying that Charles is going to die like early, they're not wrong. I don't see him lasting well beyond maybe say like 5 years, even though that seems long as we're talking. But I guess to me, it doesn't seem long because the reign of William is going to be so, so bad that I don't even know how to quantify it. William doesn't listen. So when I say that his reign is going to be bad, right? Because you might wonder, and whenever I pick these things up as well, again, I always like to ask myself to the cards, to the spirit, like, okay, if his reign is gonna be that bad, what am I gonna be doing? Like, since I'm working against this, but it's not so much that his plans will come to fruition. It's the intention. Again, like I said, the spirit realm is coming on board, right? So just like you can sense that something is not right with Kate, and that feeling, the feeling alone is what is driving multiple, in quotes, conspiracy theories and media articles, and is a storm, literally in real time. It's in the same way that his intentions are going to drive a storm. So he's not going to realize his project. I mean, how can he? someone, I exist, my partner exists, right? We're not going to allow that kind of like attack, debilitation on our mental health, seeing this play out in his homeland. But it's not the realization of his plans, William. It's the intention of it. So, and it's going to be pretty bad. Like, pretty bad is an understatement. It's going to be horrendous because people are going to try to reconcile and marry the William that we used to know to the William that is presently, that just doesn't listen. He's got wall ears. Yeah, wall ears, like ears like a wall. He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. And imagine someone who doesn't listen coupled with that same person wanting to have the most evil intentions. Then you get scared, like I won't be scared, just putting it out there because I don't want that to materialize. But I'm just saying, like he's very headstrong, more than people can imagine. Type of headstrong, yeah. So yeah, no, Camilla's gonna be like, I don't even see her. Almost like she'll go into hiding before Charles comes on the throne. Sorry, before William comes on the throne and Charles is dead. Um, Yeah, thank you very much, Mo. Yeah, I miss her every day. Thank you. Okay, so Moy said, when I saw Harry and Meghan at the Invictus Games in Canada, um, my heart clamped down. It was an immediate visceral response. Yes, absolutely, Moy. Yeah, that immediate visceral response, absolutely. That's what I picked up back in 2018. And, just to show that I wasn't being biased, I had seen her a couple of times. And I think my first interaction, I guess, like with her spirit or seeing her uh in the physical realm was in a Daily Mail, in an article where she was being hounded down. It was at night time and she had gone shopping, right? And she kind of looked pissed off with the cameras. But I guess in time, her intentions also changed. So that's really when I picked it up. And I remember even back then, and I didn't really want to believe it because I kind of thought to myself, like, am I seeing into things? Like, am I seeing wrong in the spiritual realm? But at the time, what I picked up, right, I'm sorry to say, is that a person's fans will reflect that person. Because remember, there was a time when celebrities used to try to dissociate themselves from their fans, especially the rabid fans. But as time went on, it's more like people have struggled to prove that the fans are working with the celebrity. But back then, 2018, when I saw those comments, it was on a social media platform, and I saw her fans comments. People are being racist. People are being racist because she's a black woman, right? I just knew, like, so in the spiritual room, just let me know. It was like a lightning strike, very visceral, that this is only gonna end one way. Yeah, and again, I've said it before, at that time, before that incident happened, I had seen Meghan Markle on the balcony with the Queen's husband, Prince Philip. And this was like 10 years later kind of energy. So in other words, she was supposed to remain in the royal family 10 years plus, maybe like 12, 15 years. So she was not supposed to leave that soon. But immediately I saw that comment on that, that racism comment, it was as if that vision just got erased. In other words, this long-term plan is no longer going to be the case. And when I say Prince Philip, I really mean Prince Philip, because I've said it before. Prince Philip was not supposed to die at the time that he died. What Meghan, just everything that has happened in the royal family in the past few years was not supposed to happen. So the Queen dying at this time, Prince Philip dying, none of this was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be longevity. Yeah, but and I think the public, people not taking it seriously is really what has lengthened this cycle, because take it seriously. You can see what the Royals are doing. You can see what Meghan Markle is doing. Stop attributing everything to racism. Also, stop thinking that Kate and William are perfect. Face the truth, right? Or if you're not going to face the truth, because I understand everybody has their version of the truth, we have different upbringings, at least admit that you have your version of the truth. Don't try to pretend you don't have your version of the truth, even whilst you're trying to impose that version on other people as if it's the general consensus and the general truth. Like it's so hypocritical, and that's why the spirit realm is lashing out and everything is being exposed and disintegrating. Yeah. But yeah, that visceral response, like it was very, yeah, yeah. Okay, Sophie said it's amazing that Kate supports William despite being aware of and actually seeing what he is. Yeah, yeah, she's no different. She's no different. She's no different. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if anyone has dropped any other comments. I feel like some comments don't come up and get removed. Hope, am I doing free live readings? I could if you want me to. Um, but then sometimes, like when I pick things up, I don't go into too much details, and I feel like that leads to people misunderstanding my readings or maybe not really wanting to get what I'm saying. Somebody dropped a comment the other day on a live reading, and I was unable to pick it up again because it just disappeared. I picked it up, I saw it once, and then it disappeared. It was a live reading. If it's you, please come back and let me know. Um, and I've forgotten the person's name because the person asked me why I didn't see that the parent was going to die. The parents were going to divorce, right? So I might or might not have done that reading. But what I am picking up is that you misunderstood me. If I'm doing a reading and I talk about you like needing to be strong, right? Or you not having a close relationship with your parents, and that you should stand your ground. In other words, like if I'm picking up, like I'm seeing for this person that you and your parents or you and your father have not really had a close relationship. So therefore, don't try to see his old age as a reason to get closer to him, because it's not going to make a difference to your relationship. It's just going to be like a plaster, a fake emotional reunion, and that is going to affect you even more when eventually this divorce happens or this death happens. Those are the details, but you're not going to get it if I'm telling you at the time that stick to your convictions, don't go back to your father, right? You're just going to think maybe I'm just saying that because I don't understand how you're feeling or I don't understand what happened. So it's really up to you to ask me, okay, what do you mean? And then I would explain to you. Sometimes the cards don't want me to pick things up about maybe your relationship with me, like with the reader, because you might be saying in your mind, and then I would see those thoughts and I wouldn't want to help you, but the cards will be insisting that you need the help, if that makes sense. So it's like, even when I do readings, it's a battle between me being true to myself and me being true to the cards, or like my spirit guides in helping or in just doing a reading. Yeah. Um, Wop, have you been cursed? I don't see curses, Wop. No, I don't see curses at all. Maybe you're thinking of your sister or somebody close to you that is a female. Yeah. That's the person that is cursed. And because you're incredibly close to it's someone who's passed. Whoop. Don't see death as something that is bad. Yeah. Yeah. You're not the cause of another person's misfortunes. Whoop. Yeah, if that makes sense. Hello, Hope. Uh a love situation for you. Mm. Yeah. Games being played. That's what the cards are showing. Games being played. Hope. So it depends on you, like if you want to keep playing those games or you don't. But you're not wrong. Whatever you've picked up, Hope, you're not wrong. Games being played. Yeah. Okay, does anyone have readings on the royal family or so hope? It depends on what you want to do. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, hope, you're gonna have to talk to him because I don't see that he wants you to be worried. He just wants you to become the person you used to be in the beginning. Yeah. He feels like you've changed a lot and therefore you're the one who doesn't want it. Uh Jillian, you're going to have to work fight harder. Yeah. In some measure, you're going to get some kind, like I do see a settlement. It might not be by them. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, you've got a struggle on your hands, Jillian, but it is going to work out in the sense that you're going to have peace. Uh, whatever that means, I don't know, because I'm getting like it's as if these people, they've been manipulating you. Like there's a lot more that is due to you, but I don't know if you want to pursue it. I really don't, because I do see that you're tired, but it's totally up to you. It's totally, you know what? Maybe come back to me when I'm doing a reading, maybe sometime next week. Um, these energies would have cleared, Jillian. Yeah. Because sometimes like when there's restructuring going on in an organization or a place, whatever your case is about, whatever you are asking of them, they can't do it because they're trying to decipher who is more important, what matters more, what should we take on more, right? And that can affect your reading. So they're not really focused on you, but that's not for lack of you trying. But I do see a struggle. So please do come back to me next week when I'm doing a reading. Sophie, you're gonna get into a relationship. I do see that, but not with your soulmate. But although this person is gonna feel like they are your soulmate, and then the one who comes after that is going to be your soulmate. But I don't want you to think in terms of soulmate. Like just think of it in terms of I like this person because you're gonna love this person. They're like your best friend, and it does not. The definition of a soulmate doesn't have to be just one person. I mean, I truly mean that. Okay, I see my soulmate as being the only one for me, just one person. You don't have to see it that way. And in fact, it doesn't have to be that way because it's your reality. I might seem convoluted, but that's what I'm like. These two people, like this person, isn't your soulmate in the singular sense of the word. Sorry. In the singular sense of the word, this person isn't your soulmate, but they do love you and you love them. So they're going to come into your life, and this other person is going to come in just for future reference because it's not going to be too long. This person has more like a cartoon character. They're very jovial. This person here is much more serious, the first person that comes in, but it's as if you would have known this second person your whole life. But don't worry about it because this one, let me say like medium term is better for you, the better person, because they make you feel good, really, really good. And that's what you need after a lot of struggles because you've been through a whole lot of struggles. Like struggles is even taking it lightly. You've been through so much that you don't even want to talk about. So I wouldn't expatiate. But what I'll just say is this person is way too jovial for your liking. So don't think of it as, oh yeah, PTR said this is my soulmate. No. Don't see it in terms of your soulmate. Just see it in terms of this person is good, but they're not good for me. Or not at the present time. So I'm gonna stick with this one. Yeah. You're gonna be spoiled for choice. Just come back to me like later on in the future if this doesn't happen and I'll see what's the hold up. But that's what I see for you. Right, Sophie, that's what I don't want you to think. Age doesn't matter when it comes to love. And yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Hope. I don't see marriage in the way, like, I don't see commitment, but I do see marriage. Some people can be married and have can get married and have a kid, and all along a kid is actually what they wanted. I don't see marriage in its full manifestation for you. But marriage in terms of putting rings on each other's fingers, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, please return. Whenever I tell people to return, uh, after I've done a reading on them, it's not to manipulate them. Uh, it's merely to say, I'm picking up what I can see. If something else turns out, come to me and I'll look into the cards to see why anything different has happened, right? Because I don't want to feel like I'm manipulating readings or people. That's really the main reason. And like I said before, I need to make sense of my readings. So always come back to me if something doesn't turn out the way I said it. Yeah. Okay, Prince Pesa said, I would like to ask how my brother feels about our not speaking to each other for the past. He's okay with it. Will there be reconciliation? No, no, I don't see no, no. You're like Harry and William. Prince Pesa. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that's helpful, Sophie. Don't see it as one. Like you'll have to. Prince Pesa, you're like Harry and William. Yeah, yeah. Um, Hope, you said Michael and you don't want kids. Um, okay, please come back to me because what I'm seeing is there's a lot of commitment attached to the marriage that you both want, but you're not willing to go for. Um, I do definitely see a lot of games, but it's not for a lack of love and it's not for a lack of trying, certainly on your side. So please do come back to me. Yeah. And I'll read into it again. Jillian says, I have a male who appears to be interested in me. Motives or just it's friendship. It's friendship. Yeah. Jillian. Oh, thank you, Hope. Yeah. Please do come back. No more. There's no bad energy attached. She's just being a 2-year old. Yeah. 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 Hope, don't worry about it because again, sometimes like when I say don't worry, it's because I don't know how to say it. I see you not being together in the way that you want me to see it, like united. But let me give an example. One time I was watching this TV show about a couple that got married, but they were living in separate apartments, kind of like that. That's the kind of energy, like, you don't have to worry about what is presentable. Just be focused on being right to each other. Yeah. And I'm praying that it doesn't sound too generic because it's not. This is really pertaining to you and him. It's not generic because you both want the best for each other, but you both think that there are certain conditions that have to be met. And in thinking like that, you end up creating all these obstacles because, I mean, how do you think to explain to someone that you don't want to live with them, but at the same time you do? It would seem like you would just, I guess, expect them to take it the wrong way and that you don't love them. Meanwhile, you do. So there's a lot of the games being played that I mentioned. It's just because of a lot of assumptions. Yeah, assumptions between each other. But it's not for a lack of love. Yeah. Yeah, it's not for a lack of love. You could love each other and be and live in different estates, is what I'm saying. Yeah. And it wouldn't be any less of a love. So actually be strong. Okay, Hope, if I have to say, give one advice, you take the lead because you've always, like, you're very strong in this relationship. Take the lead. I mean, it sounds redundant saying take the lead because you are, like, at the forefront. You are. Um, be the kind of person or the kind of couple that doesn't care about what other people think. Whether, yeah, yeah, kind of like that. So work towards that. It really is a struggle because you're both people pleasers, but work on that. And you're going to have a beautiful relationship. Like, it's really going to be good because it's exhilarating between both of you to know that we don't have to do this. We don't have to keep up appearances. And, yes, we can break up one morning and do this. I mean, like, again, I'll always use the example of me and my partner because that's the closest example and the realest to me. I can tell my husband, I love you, and I'll publicly post it, I love you today. And 5 minutes later, I'm deactivating my page because he's pissed me off, right? Or I will come back on, but maybe delete his picture, right? Or maybe just leave his name on my page. Kind of like that. Like, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. So there's a lot of pre conceived notions about what love or an idyllic relationship is that both of you have been using and are using to, I guess, like, keep away or stay away from each other's true happiness. Like, you're both happy with each other. You just need to make sense of what you want. And what you want is not based on what other people desire to see as a normal, in quote, relationship. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Keep doing that, Hope, and don't doubt yourself. Yeah, don't doubt yourself. That's exactly what I don't want you to. Don't doubt yourself. So even in your question about, marriage, about, like, don't think that you're being wrong in asking about marriage. Like, I really don't know how to explain it because I see your feelings, and your feelings create a lot of conversations that are not necessary. Like, when you could just spend the whole day telling each other, I love you, I love you, I love you. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want, like, if that's what you want, then go ahead. Don't worry about feeling bad about asking when you're asking a question about the relationship. Your feelings do not have to be um contradictory to your thoughts, right? You can be asking, are we going to do this? Are we going to achieve this? And you can also be thinking, I love this, but I love you, I love you, I love you, right? I hope that makes sense. So take the lead in not letting him doubt his feelings about the relationship, because if you have doubts about what you think versus how your heart feels, he is going to follow your lead as well, and he's going to end up thinking that he doesn't love you as much as he says he does. Or yeah, yeah, if you understand, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you end up doubting again, like, it took me the longest time to admit, and my husband had to help me. He's like, Jodelle, it's okay if you tell me that you hate me one morning, and then the next morning you're telling me that you love me more than anything, because it's who you like. That's you, that's your feelings. Own up to it. The more you own up to it, the less you're actually going to feel as if you don't love the person. Yeah, because it's your fear of being wrong or your fear of being contradictory that actually keeps you from realizing that you are willing to make a future with this person or to make plans with this person. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So it's like, you don't need to worry about anything that you're even asking me. In fact, you're not betraying yourself by asking me the question. Yeah, you're not. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go. But yeah, don't forget to take that advice, Hope, because it's really into the future as well. Like, even with your friends, like your friendship circles, a lot of things happen that didn't need to happen. And it's all because of your assumptions about your feelings that you may be wrong, right? You're not wrong. Just follow your feelings whatever happens ends up happening. But as long as you remain true to your feelings that, okay, I believe this, therefore, this is why I said it because I believe it, then you're going to be more confident to actually be yourself and hold the person accountable, right? And holding someone accountable is a form of love. So you're not wrong. Jane Doe asked, no, you don't need to stop William. I mean, at least from what I've seen, uh, yeah, it sounds contradictory, doesn't it? From what I've seen, you don't need to stop William. He's going to, the fans are going to expose him. And by the fans, I mean his fans, Cambridge fans, without even realizing. They'll expose him. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Hope. Oh, my bless you too. Thank you guys. Bless you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll come back to do reading, I guess next week because I'm not sure about tomorrow. And I'll try to be doing like spiritual guidance on just reading about yourself, right? Rather than reading on other people. So that the more you read into yourself, the better it will be when you're seeing things happening in the world that don't make sense. Because again, things will not make sense, things will not add up. But the more you, I guess, like understand yourself in the spiritual, yeah, the more it'll make sense. So bye bye guys, and I hope that was helpful.